So let's look at adding a result. Let's start with a track event, and let's start with the 100 meters for the under 13 boys. Click on there and we get this typical sprint race setup where we have race 1, race 2 and some additional races. This is a Division 1 match, and we have the opportunity to perhaps score the wind readings, which you do by either selecting plus or minus and then putting the strength of the wind. Same for each race. It doesn't if you don't get it, it doesn't matter. It's purely for the power of 10 basically. So let's put some athletes in. Number 2, number 3 and number 23. You can see that number 23 has shown up red because it's an under 13 girl. Now that might be because you've just typed the wrong number in. It might be that the girl was given a wrong category, or it might have been that the track judge wrote down the wrong number. The thing is, now is the time to sort that out. We'll put some times in, and we'll not process this, but we'll go back to the home page. If we'd processed it, it would have come up as a highlighted box, so we know we've got to go back to that. If you'd processed it and you then went back to it, that wouldn't matter, but it's just a good way of actually remembering. We'll go to the 800 meters as a second one. This time we've just got one big race with 32 in it potentially. I don't think we've ever had 32, but these are generally run as a single heat. If they were run as 2 heats, you'd just do 1 heat and then follow on by the second heat. Again, just putting in the numbers, and this is important. The times need to be put in the format of minutes, colon, seconds and decimals. Nothing else works properly. It might look right with not a colon, but it doesn't work right without a colon. And I've got 2 colons in there, so that's why that hasn't actually looked at it properly. So there we go. We've got a processor. We're just going to have the 2 runners in this. The reason it's imperative that we get that colon in is when we press this button here, it does a few things, and one of the things is it sets the grade, if appropriate, to the time. Now if you haven't got the right format, it's like comparing apples with pears. It doesn't work. It also scores the event, and it also saves the entire spreadsheet, so you don't get any great loss. As soon as you've pressed this blue button, it'll do all that processing and return us to the home page. And when we get back to the home page, you can see that we've now got that nicely highlighted, so we know we've done that event. The scores have been added to Durham. They were the only one that had athletes. Let's go back to this one and let's put something different in. And oh, we've got a non-declared, so that's not right either. So let's try 65. I've got to say I'm guessing here. Anyway, let's put number 6 in. We'll have 3 Durham athletes. Yeah, there we are. It's 3 Durham athletes. That's entirely possible. And this time we will process it, and it's highlighted the fact that we have done so. One final thing, if we go to look at a relay, there's 2 things about a relay. First of all, there is no individual athletes involved, so the bib number should be the bib number of the last person crossing the leg 4 runner. And if it's a composite team, you would expect them not to have a bib number on them, and that includes mixed teams or mixed age groups. And the other little thing that may be different with your relay is they may have gone beyond a minute. We still record seconds, so if it was 1 minute 10 seconds, then that would become 70 seconds. The same would apply to your longer sprints such as the 400 and the 400 hurdles.